Good evening, 2020 Madill Grade 12 graduates. Without a doubt, this year has been a memorable one for us. This past year was my first year as principal, and firsts are always memorable. For most grads, someone watching likely remembers your first step, your first haircut, when you got your first tooth, the first words that you said, and many, many other firsts that have happened in your lifetime. So you see, graduates, you will always hold a special place in my heart as my first graduating class. The happy firsts leave lasting memories, but the emotions felt during the challenges and difficulties also leave lasting memories. The 1920 school year was definitely full of these challenges. You likely have your own long personal list, but here are some of the ones that I remember. In the fall, some sports and activities were canceled because of job action. In the spring, the pandemic caused the cancellation of many activities, including your prom, and you were forced to learn from home. We dealt with the death of a student during the pandemic, and even before the school year began, many of you grieved the loss of a peer who should have been graduating alongside you tonight. So at this time, I would like to pause for a moment of silence to honor the memory of all the loved ones who could not be with us tonight to celebrate the achievements of this graduating class. It has been a tough year for sure. We have learned that challenges and difficulties are a normal part of life in 2020. It is easy to get caught up in the negative, but I encourage you to not focus too long on the difficulties. Focus on the good that is going on in the world. Find ways to have a positive impact on your family, friends, and the greater community. Tonight on Thanksgiving weekend, I want you to show your gratitude to the people around you, the people that supported your firsts along your journey. Remember to say thanks to your peers, and most importantly, your family members and friends that have formed your support network over the past 17 or more years. It is an exciting time for you students. A few members of the wider community would also like to send their best wishes, so I will turn things over to them.
Hello, Mustang graduates of 2020. What a memorable year to be a graduate. I know it wasn't easy for you to finish high school from home, online, without your classmates and teachers and friends surrounding you. I know you're likely very disappointed to not be able to have a traditional commencement ceremony with gowns and music and an auditorium full of people that had been cheering you on throughout your secondary education. I'm very sorry that you can't have that. But I also know that these are the things that will help you to see how resilient you can be. This also does not take away from your accomplishment, your growth over the years in high school, and the skills and attributes that you will undoubtedly use throughout your entire life. The resiliency that you have developed throughout this challenging situation will serve you well. Change is one thing you can count on in life. As an adult, you realize that there are lots of situations in life that change the direction of your life that you can't predict and may not even anticipate. Your response to change shows the kind of person you are. The fact that you have adapted to doing all of your classes online in the middle of your final year and made it here today shows how determined you are and your ability to adapt. As someone who has experienced graduation several times, I know what it feels like to find yourself on the other side of a major academic achievement. You've worked so hard to get here, and now what? It's exciting and daunting all at the same time. Many of you have already started post-secondary education or entered the workforce. Some of you are struggling to cope with all of the changes that COVID has brought to your life. I'm sure all of you have been asked, well, what's next? What are you going to do now? For some of you, the answer might be easy. and others of you might need more time to determine your area of interest and focus for energy and commitment. And that's okay. The important thing is that you continue to move forward. Continue to remain positive in the face of change and continue to strive for the excellence that you have achieved today. I would encourage you to remember that you are resilient. You have faced change and graduated high school during a pandemic. You are brave. You have what it takes to step forward into the next phase of your life as a lifelong learner. You and your peers will remember this pandemic and work to improve emergency management in other areas or even in the education system. You will be influenced by the Black Lives Matter movement and work to fight against racism wherever you encounter it. You belong to a generation that's going to lead the way to a better future. I know I speak for your teachers, support staff, and principal when I say we are very proud of you. We are not just proud of your accomplishments throughout your time with us, but we are proud of who you are becoming, how you will use this challenging situation to build your resiliency and ability to adapt to change. And we are proud that you have contributed to our education system. You will forever remember your graduating year, the support of people in your life, the memories of your time as a student in AMDSB. I hope that you look back on your time here at FE Madill and within our school board with great pride. Warmest congratulations, 2020 graduates.
Hello, graduates. This has certainly been an unusual year on far too many fronts. I know how much so many of you look forward to seeing and sharing your new adventures on your special evening of celebration. Hopefully you've been able to keep in touch via technology. However, I do understand that technology just does not take the place of face-to-face parties and get-togethers. I am asking, if you choose to get together with some friends, that you do wear masks and social distance. Please remember, it is not your friends for the most part that are at risk, but your parents and grandparents that may be affected over the Thanksgiving weekend. Now, getting back to graduation. Leaving high school and pursuing secondary education at all levels, or pursuing apprenticeships, or entering the world of work are all great reasons to celebrate. You should be very proud of your accomplishments. This year, we began to experience what has come to be known as the new normal, and who knows if we will ever return to the way it was. But even though we may have been experiencing difficult times this year, I am certain that you, our students, are well prepared, both through a good balance of academics and extracurricular activities. Please, please take the time to thank those that have helped you, your educational community, your family, your friends, and your peers. It doesn't take long to send them a quick message. Give yourselves a pat in the back too. You are important to all of us. Take the time to learn something new each and every day. This will help to boost your self-esteem and broaden your horizons well beyond high school. Sincere congratulations, grads of 2020, and thank you so much for your perseverance. Please stay safe, stay healthy.
Hello everyone. My name is Lisa Thompson, MPP for Huron-Bruce, and I would like to sincerely congratulate the graduates of FE Madill Secondary School in 2020. I admired the manner in which you stayed focused and you remained committed to your goal of graduating. You've had a different year this year, but I applaud the manner in which you have made it special in your own way for your graduating class and your friends. As you enjoy this moment of graduating, please take time to thank the ones that helped you get here. And most importantly, as you reflect on the past, have your arms wide open to embrace all that lies ahead of you. Again, congratulations, graduates. Be a proud Mustang.
Hi, I'm Ben Lobb, Member of Parliament for Huron-Bruce. I'd like to welcome you to Commencement 2020. Congratulations to all the graduates on your academic success this year. I'd like to thank all the teachers, administration, and staff for all your hard work through the years to to get the graduates through to the finish line. As well, thank you to the parents, grandparents, and all the extended family for your support and dedication and encouragement through the years. Graduates, all the best. You've worked hard. You deserve this evening. Have a great night. Thank you.
Matthew Agad is the child of Trevor and Mary Grace Lindsay from Bluevale. Matthew is presently attending Effie Madill Secondary School. Matthew is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Remsha Akram, the child of Muhammad Akram and Sania Neeson of Wingham. Remsha is presently attending Effie Madill Secondary School. Remsha is receiving an OSSD. Branson Andrew, child of Brian McKenzie and Misty Humphrey of Lucknow. Branson is presently pursuing an electrical apprenticeship. Branson is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Victoria Angus is the child of Ron Clark and Lori Angus from Wingham. Victoria is presently attending Fanshawe College. Victoria is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Victoria is receiving the Larry Bannerman Foundation Award. Megan Ash is the child of Patrick and Jodine Ash from Fordwich. Megan is presently attending Wilfrid Laurier University. Megan is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Megan has earned the Big M and is receiving the Proficiency Award for the Writer's Craft and the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 307 Howick Award. Mallory Austin, child of John Paul and Cindy Austin from Wingham. Mallory is presently working at Westcast in the machining department. Mallory is receiving an OSSD. Brooklyn Bailey is the child of Brian Bailey and Rebecca Mangin from Bluevale. Brooklyn is presently attending Effie Madill Secondary School. Brooklyn is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Drew Becker is the child of David and Teresa Becker from Wingham. Drew is presently working full-time at DJ's Fine Furniture. Drew is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Dakota Bell is the child of Corey Bell and Amy Jacques of Gorey. Dakota is presently working at Schefter's Poultry. Dakota is receiving an OSSD. Hannah Bloomberg is the child of Jeff and Stephanie Bloomberg of Wingham. Hannah is presently working at North Huron Westcast Community Complex, as well as taking online courses. Hannah is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Devin Bridge is the child of Vern and Nancy Bridge of Brussels. Devin is presently working at Brussels Transport. Devin is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Devin is receiving the Proficiency Award for Foundations for College Mathematics. McKenna Bross is the child of Angela Bross and Robert Bross from Wingham. McKenna is presently attending Western University. McKenna is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. McKenna has earned the Big M and is receiving the Proficiency Awards for English and Science. McKenna is also receiving the Wingham and District Hospital Auxiliary Award. Bradley Brow is the child of Rob and Jen Brow from Bluevale. Bradley is presently attending Effie Madill Secondary School. Bradley is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Nathan Brown is the child of William Brown and Julie Cloakley from Wingham. Nathan is receiving an OSSD. Jaden Buckle is the child of Jamie and Jenny Buckle from Wingham. Jaden is presently attending Conestoga College. Jaden is receiving an OSSD and the Proficiency Award for Interdisciplinary Studies. Skylar Birch is the child of Lester and Debbie Birch from Brussels. Skylar is presently hoping to pursue game design at post-secondary. Skylar is receiving an OSSD. Megan Burke is the child of Steve Burke and Kendra Quinlan from Wingham. Megan is presently attending Effie Madill Secondary School. Megan is receiving a Certificate of Accomplishment and the Proficiency Award for Construction Technology. Grace Caldwell is the child of Ian and Sarah Caldwell from Belgrave. Grace is presently attending Wilfrid Laurier University. Grace is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Grace has earned the Big M and is receiving the Garnis Family Award and Madill Student Trustee Award. Alex Campbell is the child of Rob and Angie Campbell from Blythe. Alex is presently working on a carpentry apprenticeship with JFR Construction. Alex is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and the Alexander Mackenzie Education Endowment. Kyla Campbell is the child of Chris Aitchison from Wingham. Kyla is presently working at the vet clinic in Wingham full-time. Kyla is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Chantel Chadwick is the child of Carolyn Chadwick and grandchild of Margaret and Lauren Humphreys from Wingham. Chantel is currently pursuing work experience. Chantel is receiving a certificate of accomplishment. Corey Chadwick is the child of Carolyn Chadwick and grandchild of Margaret and Lauren Humphreys from Wingham. Corey is presently attending Effie Madill Secondary School. Corey is receiving a certificate of accomplishment. Alex Coltis, child of Tim and Mel Coltis from Brussels. Alex is pursuing a carpentry apprenticeship with Gary Caldwell Construction. Alex is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and the Proficiency Award for Construction Technology, Electrical Focus. Dakota Coltis is the child of Paul and Kim Coltis from Brussels. Dakota is presently working on a heavy diesel mechanic apprenticeship with Kerr Construction. Dakota is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Preston Curry is the child of Tim Curry and Stephanie McKay from Clifford. Preston is presently attending Georgian College. Preston is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Megan Dendecker is the child of Arnold and Chantal Dendecker from Bluevale. Megan is presently attending Fanshawe College. Megan is receiving an OSSD. Megan has earned the Big M and is receiving the Lucknow Kinsman Award for exemplary volunteerism and the Madill Student Council Award for activities. Aidan DeVoe is the child of Shannon Whaley from Wingham. Aidan is presently attending Effie Madill Secondary School and attending college in 2021. Aidan is receiving an OSSD. Connor Dixon is the child of Scott and Leslie Dixon from Wingham. Connor is presently attending Conestoga College. Connor is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Taylor Dietrich Ilsley is the child of David Ilsley and Charlene Dietrich Ilsley from Brussels. Taylor is presently working full-time at Westcast. Taylor is receiving an OSSD and the Madill Guidance and Student Success Award. Maggie Durnan is the child of Fred and Liz Durnan from Goderich. Maggie is presently attending the University of Guelph. Maggie is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Maggie is also receiving the West Wawanosh Mutual Insurance Award. Megan Exel is the child of Gerald and Brenda Exel from Brussels. Megan is presently attending Humber College. Megan is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Emma Fell is the child of Simon and Carol Fell from Teeswater. Emma is presently working at the Erie Bell in Kincardine. Emma is receiving an OSSD. Arissa Fisher is the child of Ray and Judy Fisher from Teeswater. Arissa is presently attending Wilfrid Laurier University. Arissa is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Chloe Fisher is the child of Kevin and Julie Fisher of Teeswater. Chloe is presently attending Conestoga College. Chloe is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Barbara Furness is the child of Eric and Victoria Furness from Lucknow. Barbara is presently attending Effie Madill Secondary School. Barbara is receiving an OSSD and the Proficiency Award for Science, as well as the Madill Successful Stangs Award. Thomas Gangle is the child of Michael Gangle and Annette Jensen from Wingham. Thomas is presently attending the University of Ottawa. Thomas is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Thomas is receiving the Proficiency Award for Biology and Physics, as well as the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation District 8 Award. Cole Gibson is the child of Daryl and Lisa Gibson of Lucknow. Cole is presently working on his family farm as well as pursuing an apprenticeship. Cole is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Robert Gilbert is the child of Jason and Alicia Gilbert from Walton. Robert is presently attending Effie Madill Secondary School. Robert is receiving an OSSD. Jesse Gates is the child of Brian and Nancy Getz of Wingham. Jesse is currently working at GM Door. Jesse is receiving an OSSC.
Garrett Golly is the child of Michael and Rebecca Golly from Bluevale. Garrett is presently attending Conestoga College, and Garrett is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Caleb Goodkey is the child of Gary and Diane Goodkey from Gorey. Caleb is currently working full-time at Watson's Home Hardware. Caleb is receiving an OSSD. Andrew Gottschalk is the child of Rosalind Gottschalk and Eli Cohen from Blythe. Andrew is presently attending Effie Madill. Andrew is receiving an OSSD. Jared Hall is the child of Anita Shackleton from Teeswater. Jared is currently helping on the family farm. Jared is receiving an OSSD. Brett Harding is the child of Aaron and Becky Harding from Fordwich. Brett is presently attending Conestoga College. Brett is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Maitland Higgins is the child of Greg and Betty Jane Higgins from Brussels. Maitland is presently attending Conestoga College. Maitland is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Kyle Hogan is the child of Thomas and Shannon Hogan from Lucknow. Kyle is presently attending Conestoga College. Kyle is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Logan Huffman is the child of Tyler Huffman and Courtney Chambers from Wingham. Logan is presently attending Effie Madill. Logan is receiving an OSSD. Josh Hughes is the child of Jonathan and Lori Hughes from Wingham. Josh is working towards a carpentry apprenticeship with Drost Construction. Josh is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and has earned the Big M. Sydney Hunter is the child of Leanne and Keith McKenzie and Raymond Hunter from Lucknow. Sydney is working full-time at Home Hardware in Lucknow and starting online courses in the new year. Sydney is receiving an OSSD and is receiving the Newton Green Memorial Award and the Mackenzie Scholarship. Ben Jacklin is the child of Sean and Melissa Jacklin from Brussels. Ben is working at Finbuilt General Contractors. Ben is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Dante Jacklin is the child of Barry and Laura Lee Jacklin from Roxeter. Dante is presently attending Western University. Dante is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar and is receiving the Madill Secondary School Teaching Staff Award. Joe Jacklin is the child of Sean and Melissa Jacklin from Brussels. Joe is continuing his education at CHSS and also working at Canadian Crane. Joe is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Kessler Jardin is the child of Mike and Debbie Jardin from Belgrave. Kessler is currently pursuing an apprenticeship in plumbing. Kessler is receiving an OSSD. Brooke Jez is the child of Jerry and Janine Jez from Teeswater. Brooke is presently attending Fanshawe College. Brooke is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Brooke has earned the Big M and is receiving the Kathleen M.C. Smith Award. Christopher Gillings is the child of Charles and Carla Gascoigne from Gorey. Christopher is working towards an auto mechanic apprenticeship at D&M Auto in Gorey. Christopher is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is receiving the Proficiency Awards for English and Mathematics for College Technology. Miles Johnson is the child of Kim Johnson and the late Dave Johnson from Bluevale. Miles is working towards a heavy-duty equipment technician at McGavin's Farm Equipment and helping to run the family beef farm. Miles is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is receiving the Huron County Agriculture Award. Desiree Johnson Burton is the child of Connie Johnson from Brussels. Desiree is presently attending Effie Madill. Desiree is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Chantel Jolly is the child of Grant and Debbie Jolly from Wingham. Chantel is currently pursuing work in catering and baking. Chantel is receiving an OSSD. Leah Kennedy is the child of Carl and Denise Kennedy from Teeswater. Leah is presently attending Fanshawe College. Leah is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Josiah Crayenbrink is the child of Pete and Delicia Crayenbrink from Wingham. Josiah is presently attending Effie Madill. Josiah is receiving an OSSD. Carly Laffin is the child of Kara Laffin and Mike Laffin from Wingham. Carly is presently attending Effie Madill, and Carly is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. West Larrabee is the child of Jason and Robin Larrabee from Lucknow. West is presently attending Fanshawe College. West is receiving an OSSD and is receiving the Hawk Theatre Award. Kaylee LeBlanc is the child of Erica LeBlanc from Wingham. Kaylee is currently providing childcare. Kaylee is receiving an OSSD. Patrick LaRue is the child of Jason LaRue and Megan McLeod from Wingham. Patrick is presently attending Effie Madill. Patrick is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Holly Lataw is the child of James Lataw and Wanda Hall Mazarow from Lucknow. Holly is presently attending Effie Madill. Holly is receiving an OSSD. Erica Lewis is the child of Charlene McGee from Wingham. Erica is presently attending Conestoga College. Erica is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar and is receiving the Hayes Memorial Scholarship. Justin Livingston is the child of Terry and Heather Livingston from Lucknow. Justin is currently working at Snowblend Farms in Lucknow, and Justin is receiving an OSSD. Wade Mackin is the child of Paul and Janice Mackin from Brussels. Wade is presently attending Ridgetown College. Wade is receiving an OSSD. Caleb McKay is the child of Chris and Anita McKay from Clifford. Caleb is presently attending FE Madill. Caleb is receiving an OSSD and is receiving the Lieutenant Governor's Community Volunteer Award and the Madill School Parent Council Award. Ben McLean is a child of Stephen McLean and Shannon Lockhart from Wingham. Ben is presently attending Conestoga College. Ben is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Chloe McPherson is the child of Jeff McPherson from Wingham. Chloe is currently working at Tim Hortons and planning to attend college next year. Chloe is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Paige Malloy is the child of Frank Chartrand and Angela Nicholson from Bluevale. Paige is presently attending FE Madill, and Paige is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Hunter McCullough is the child of Charles and Sheridan McCullough from Brussels. Hunter is presently attending University of Waterloo. Hunter is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar and has earned the Big M. Hunter is receiving the Proficiency Awards for Computer Science, Interdisciplinary Studies, Calculus and Vectors, and Hunter is receiving the R.J. Burnside Award for Engineering, the Lucknow Kinsman Award for Exemplary Volunteerism, and was McCall Huron County finalist. Ryan McMichael is the child of Chad and Robin McMichael from Belgrave. Ryan is pursuing an apprenticeship in plumbing. Ryan is receiving an OSSD. Gavin McQuaby is the child of Krista McQuaby and Chris Lassaline from Wingham. Gavin is presently attending FE Madill. Gavin is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Megan Metzke is the child of Michael and Tina Metzke from Lucknow. Megan is presently attending FE Madill. Megan is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Tyson Mickey is the child of Stephen Mickey and Heather Moore from Brussels. Tyson is presently attending Algonquin College. Tyson is receiving an OSSD. Julia Morgan is the child of Heather Morgan and George Morgan from Teeswater. Julia is presently pursuing post-secondary studies. Julia is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Chastity Murray is the child of Charles and Sally Murray from Lucknow. Chastity is presently attending Lambton College. Chastity is receiving an OSSD and is receiving the Larry Bannerman Foundation Award. John Nesbitt is the child of John and Krista Nesbitt from Blythe. John is apprenticing for a truck and coach mechanic at Ryan's Truck Repair. John is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is receiving the Madill Secondary School Teaching Staff Award. Jamie Newell is the child of Jeff Newell and Sarah Houston from Brussels. Jamie is presently attending FE Madill and is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Jamie has earned the Big M and is receiving the Proficiency Awards for Business Leadership and Healthy Active Living Education. Jamie is receiving the Madill Student Council Award for Athletics. Max Newson is the child of Dean and Pat Newson from Wingham. Max is presently attending FE Madill. Max is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar, and he has earned the Big M. Josie Nicholson is the child of James and Roxanne Nicholson from Bluevale. Josie is apprenticing at McKee's Tattoo in Wingham to become a tattoo artist, and she works part-time at Gay Leaf Foods in Teeswater. Josie is receiving an OSSD and is receiving the Morris Ward Graduate Award. Vanessa Nicholson is the child of Dean and Sandra Nicholson from Bluevale. Vanessa is presently attending Fanshawe College. Vanessa is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Vanessa is receiving the Jean McEwen Memorial Scholarship and the Wingham and Area Health Professionals Recruitment Award. Colleen Nivens is the child of Ralph and Cheryl Nivens from Goderich. Colleen is presently attending FE Madill. Colleen is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Brianna Oldfield is the child of Rod and Aaron Oldfield from Teeswater. Brianna is presently attending FE Madill. Brianna is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Brianna is receiving the Proficiency Award for French. Darian Pennington Fritz is the child of Lisa Pennington from Lucknow. Darian is working at Bierman's Construction. Darian is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Dustin Pennington Fritz is the child of Lisa Pennington from Lucknow. Dustin is pursuing an apprenticeship in plumbing and working at Bierman's Construction. Dustin is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Lydia Peterson is the child of Raymond and Ann Peterson from Clifford. Lydia is presently attending the University of Waterloo. Lydia is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Lydia is receiving the award for Grade 12 Proficiency and the Proficiency Award for Advanced Functions. Lydia is receiving the Governor General Medal and the Henderson Memorial Award. Joshua Pham is the child of Heather and Vu Pham from Wingham. Joshua is presently attending Conestoga College. Joshua is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Joshua is receiving the Menzies Raymond Scholarship for Law Enforcement. McKenna Pickard is the child of Ross Pickard and Kim Pickard from Lucknow. McKenna is working at Pinecrest in Lucknow. McKenna is receiving an OSSD.
Mercedes Potter is the child of Andrew and Melanie Potter from Wingham. Mercedes is currently working at Wingham Memorials and planning for post-secondary studies. Mercedes is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Kelsey Price is the child of Scott and Kyla Price from Gorey. Kelsey is presently attending FE Madill Secondary School. Kelsey is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and the Proficiency Award for hairstyling. Haley Reinkoff is the child of Jason Reinkoff and J. Ann Steele from Brussels. Haley is presently attending Fanshawe College. Haley is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Haley is receiving the Wingham Optimists Award. Tyson Rintoul is the child of Scott and Tracy Rintoul from Lucknow. Tyson is currently working at Master Feed and pursuing an apprenticeship for an electrician. Tyson is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and the Proficiency Award for Physics. Hayden Robinson is the child of Jamie and Susan Robinson from Belgrave. Hayden is presently attending Conestoga College. Hayden is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Hayden has earned the Big M and is receiving the B.M. Ross Award. Hunter Rose is the child of Darwin Rose and Tanya Rose from Brussels. Hunter is presently attending FE Madill Secondary School. Hunter is receiving a Certificate of Accomplishment. Christopher Rylesdam is the child of Dirk and Liz Rylesdam of Wingham. Christopher is presently attending University of Guelph. Christopher is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Chris is also receiving the Proficiency Award for Custom Woodworking and the Bruce Power Future Innovators Award. Ethan Sangster is the child of Brett and Tanya Sangster from Wingham. Ethan is presently attending Fanshawe College. Ethan is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Luke Schefter is the child of Adam and Vanessa Schefter from Gorey. Luke is currently working at Schefter Poultry Process. Luke is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Luke is receiving the Proficiency Award for Healthy Living and Personal and Fitness Activities. Blake Schmidt is the child of Len and Kim Schmidt from Wingham. Blake is presently attending FE Madill Secondary School. Blake is receiving an OSSC. Alicia Schuer is a child of Murray and Tricia Schuer from Wingham. Alicia is presently attending Fanshawe College. Alicia is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is receiving the Proficiency Award for Photography, the Huron-Perth District Women's Institute Award, and Jean McEwen Memorial Scholarship. Brielle Shaw is the child of Peter and Janice Shaw from Bluevale. Brielle is presently attending the University of Waterloo. Brielle is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Brielle has earned the Big M and is receiving the Proficiency Award for Music. Brielle is also receiving the McCall Huron County Scholarship and the Louise Patton Memorial Award. Mercedes Shepard is the child of Wade and Janine Shepard from Brussels. Mercedes is currently working at Erie Meats. Mercedes is receiving an OSSD. Colson Smith is the child of Philip and Heather Lynn Smith from Wingham. Colson is presently attending Fanshawe College. Colson is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Colson is receiving the McNaughton Memorial Award. Chase Smith is the child of Paul and Linda Smith from Wingham. Chase is presently attending FE Madill Secondary School. Chase is receiving an OSSD. Crystal Snyder is the child of Colin and Heather Snyder from Bluevale. Crystal is presently attending York University. Crystal is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Crystal is receiving the Proficiency Award for Drama, the Jean McEwen Memorial Scholarship, and the Whiteman Family Bursary for the Advancement of Technology. Seth Snyder is the child of Matt and Kendra Snyder from Brussels. Seth is presently looking into a career in culinary arts. Seth is receiving an OSSD. Matthew Stacy is the child of Corey and Kelly Stacy from Teeswater. Matthew is presently working full-time for Wadham Construction. Matthew is receiving an OSSD. Brandon Stein is the child of Gary and Michelle Stein from Teeswater. Brandon is currently working on a combine crew in the Canadian West and will be working at Smith Welding when he returns home. Brandon is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Abby Strom is the child of Ron and Kim Strom of Brussels. Abby is presently attending FE Madill Secondary School. Abby is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Abby is also receiving the Proficiency Award for Issues of Indigenous Peoples in a Global Context. Haley Symes DeVos is the child of Thomas and Lindsay Symes from Wingham. Haley is presently attending Trent University. Haley is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Haley is receiving the Crime Stoppers Award, the Wingham Optimist Award, and the Royal Canadian Legion Ladies Auxiliary Branch 180 Award. Haley Todd is the child of Kathy Todd from Lucknow. Haley is currently working at Cowbell. Haley is receiving an OSSD and the Madill Secondary School Teaching Staff Award. Cam Thiessen is the child of Lori Thiessen from Wingham. Cam is presently attending FE Madill Secondary School. Cam is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Cam is receiving the Proficiency Award for Personal Life Management, Construction Technology, and Manufacturing Technology. McKinley Turnbull is a child of Greg and Crystal Turnbull from Teeswater. McKinley is presently attending Fanshawe College. McKinley is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. McKinley has earned the Big M and is receiving the Ron G. Hill Scholarship. Mariella is presently attending Nipissing University. Mariella is receiving an OSSD and is an Ontario Scholar. Mariella is receiving the Marilyn Vanderwood Memorial Award. Simon Vandervlies is a child of Henry and Anya Vandervlies from Teeswater. Simon is presently attending Conestoga College. Simon is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Hannah Van Stuyvenberg is a child of Case and Anne-Marie Van Stuyvenberg from Teeswater. Hannah is presently attending Seneca College. Hannah is receiving an OSSD. Hannah is also receiving the Michelle Andrew Memorial Scholarship and the Sheila Prescott Award and the Bruce County Award. Julie Vandermeer is a child of Jason and Patty Vandermeer from Brussels. Julie is presently pursuing a mill writing apprenticeship. Julie is receiving an OSSD and the Diane Mays Memorial Award. Lucas Wagner is a child of David and Kelly Wagner from Wingham. Lucas is presently attending Niagara College. Lucas is receiving an OSSD, the Larry Bannerman Foundation Award, and the Drama Guild Award. Zach Walden is a child of Tim and Maria Walden from Blythe. Zach is presently attending Conestoga College. Zach is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Logan Wallace is the child of Boris and Melody Wallace from Blythe. Logan is presently attending Fanshawe College. Logan is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is receiving the Turnberry Township 125th Anniversary Award. Dale Ward is the child of Jeff and Susan Ward from Holyrood. Dale is currently working at Langside Tractor and Auto. Dale is receiving an OSSD and is receiving the Madill Secondary School Teaching Staff Award. Thomas Warner is the child of Tom and Joanne Smith from Brussels. Thomas is presently attending Conestoga College. Thomas is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is receiving the Ontario Association of Certified Engineering Technicians and Technologists Award. Mason Weber is the child of Daryl and Sandra Weber from Belgrave. Mason is presently working on Fisher Farms and pursuing a mechanic apprenticeship. Mason is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Ethan Weiser is a child of Wanda Weiser from Teeswater. Ethan is presently attending FE Madill Secondary School. Ethan is receiving an OSSD. Abigail Wellstead is a child of Tim and Stacy Wellstead from Lucknow. Abigail is presently attending Fanshawe College. Abigail is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal. Lucas Welsh is the child of David and Catherine Welsh from Wingham. Lucas is presently attending Lambton College. Lucas is receiving an OSSD. Hannah Wheeler is the child of Kyle and Kim Wheeler from Lucknow. Hannah is presently attending the University of Guelph. Hannah is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Hannah has earned the Big M and is receiving the George Anderson Endowment Award, the Isla Burchill Memorial Riverboat Award, the McCall Huron County Scholarship, the Heather Pegg Memorial Award, the Madill Student Trustee Award, and the George Kelly Make a Difference Award. Desiree Whitehead is a child of Jason and Catherine Whitehead from Roxeter. Desiree is presently attending St. Lawrence College. Desiree is receiving the OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Desiree has earned the Big M and is receiving the Proficiency Award for Interdisciplinary Studies and Mathematics for College Technology. Desiree is also receiving the Wingham and District Hospital Auxiliary Award. Mackenzie Whiteman is the child of Brian and Allison Whiteman from Auburn. Mackenzie is presently attending Fanshawe College. Mackenzie is receiving an OSSD with Red Seal and is an Ontario Scholar. Mackenzie is receiving the CIBC Award and the Huron-Perth Real Estate Board Award. Brett Wilson is the child of Doug and Tammy Wilson from Lucknow. Brett is presently attending Effie Madill Secondary School. Brett is receiving a Certificate of Accomplishment and is receiving the Proficiency Award for Transportation Technology Vehicle Maintenance. Sam Young is the child of Kevin and Heather Young from Brussels. Sam is hoping to attend college in 2021 for policing or real estate. Sam is receiving an OSSD. Rylan Zimmer is a child of Sharif Thompson from Wingham. Rylan is currently working at Horst Welding. Rylan is receiving an OSSD. Justin Zinn is the child of Chris and Wendy Zinn from Roxeter. Justin is presently looking for opportunities in the community. Justin is receiving a Certificate of Accomplishment and is receiving the Madill Secondary School Teaching Staff Award.
The following students previously graduated and had returned to Madill during the 2019-2020 school year, winning the listed awards.
At this time, I would like to introduce you to this year's valedictorian, Lydia Peterson. Lydia's former teachers describe her as a conscientious student who always tries her best. She takes initiative and has a keen interest in learning. She always has a positive attitude, is open, respectful, and inquisitive. Lydia is currently enrolled in post-secondary education at the University of Waterloo. It is with great pleasure that I welcome Lydia to speak on behalf of the 2020 graduating class.
When I was writing this speech, I didn't think it was going to be long enough. I thought about double spacing it, but then I realized that unlike an English class, double spacing it doesn't actually make your speech longer, so I had to do some more editing. It feels like a long time since we started grade 9. We're older, yes. Taller? Maybe. Wiser? That's debatable. The first day I came to Effie Madill High School, I never wanted to come back. It was different from what I was used to, and I was intimidated by the maze of hallways. Honestly, it was probably Cookie Fridays in Miss Boss's class that kept me coming back. I'm glad to say that I'm not the same scared kid I was when I first walked in here. I have since learned that high school really isn't as bad as I thought it was, and that the maze of hallways is really just one big circle. Our teachers at Effie taught us a lot of things. Mr. Bartman argued with our views on buying lottery tickets and showing us the statistical probability of winning. However, it wasn't until he promised to give us all 90% if one of us actually won the lottery that he really convinced us it was a poor financial decision. Mr. Hoba gave us pro tips on how to navigate university by telling us we had a better chance of doing well in our classes if we made smart friends. Mr. Mercer trained us to check our work for mistakes. Ms. Jackson showed us the value of investing in people by the effort she put into getting to know all of us. And the list could go on. Life at Effie Madill also taught us a lot of things that will impact our life beyond high school. For me, coming from doing school online, one of the first things I had to get used to was working with classmates on projects. I learned quickly that you had to choose your group well, but I'm also thankful for the times that I didn't get to choose my group, because it gave me experience working with all kinds of different people. Sometimes I still find it easier to work by myself, but I have found that working with others is often more fun and can be a lot faster. I have good memories of sitting at our tables in math class working on group questions. Whether or not it made us more productive, I can't tell you. Starting high school was intimidating. We all came to Effie from different places and backgrounds, and each of us had different questions and worries about coming to school. Some of us worried about keeping up with our classes, while others were scared of public speaking. Some of us struggled with writing tests and quizzes, while others had a harder time making friends. Whatever it was that we struggled with, we learned a lot of skills in how to overcome the difficulties. When I started school, I stressed a lot about keeping up with my work. It was daunting, but I found that when I just sat down and actually did my work, it made it much more manageable. I learned to do lots of practice questions and study hard when I got nervous for a test. I think the biggest thing I learned during high school is that no matter how hard your semester is, in the midst of stress and preparing for assignments and tests, it is always worthwhile to make time for people. It's really easy to get caught up in school and learning facts, and it is good to know Newton's 3 laws and that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, but it's important to remember that there are more valuable things in life. Sometimes it's worth it to skip studying and go watch a basketball game with your friends. Realistically, 2 years from now, no one's going to care what mark you got on that test anyways. I know that not everybody has a hard time setting aside school, but there are always things that can distract us from what is really important. I've realized that the world is so much bigger than how well I do at school, and that in the end, what matters is relationships. So, we're done high school, and we're all heading into something new. Whether it's going to college or university or starting a new job, it's intimidating and there are many uncertainties. Looking back, these worries are very similar to the things we were concerned about when we started high school. But over the last 4 years, we've learned a lot of lessons that can help us succeed in any situation. I don't think it's ever easy starting something new. Change is hard and difficult, and sometimes we wish we could just avoid its discomfort. But like Gandalf said, that is not for us to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that's given to us. Thank you.
Well, grads, our ceremony is almost done. It's time for me to wish you health and happiness. But first, a quick reminder. Just over a year ago, you sat in front of me on the hard floor in the gym and heard me talk to you about the longest study on happiness done by Harvard University. The researchers wanted to find the key to happiness, and they spent 75 years tracking over 500 participants. I'm not sure how happy it made them, but that is actually not the point of this story. I do want to remind you what the point of that research was. The first thing they found was that good relationships kept the participants happier. They found that good relationships actually kept the participants physically healthier. They found that it was not the number of friends that you had, but the quality of the relationships that buffered you the effect of getting old. And lastly, they discovered that good relationships don't just protect our physical bodies, they protect our minds and keep our memories sharper. At that same assembly, I introduced you to the school goals for 2019-2020. Be well, do well, connect well. My wish for you grads is that you continue to be well, that you continue to do well. And since the key to happiness is found in relationships, most importantly, I want you to connect well. Congratulations, graduates. Please remember to join us tomorrow to pick up your grad packages. Thank you, and have a great evening.